Welcome to regular public meeting. I'd like everybody to stand, please, for the national anthem. The territorial acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the city of Bathurst as the ancestral homeland of the Mi'kmaq. Today, these lands are home to a diverse population of indigenous and other peoples. We also acknowledge with respect the diverse history and culture of the Mi'kmaq in this region. Nous reconnaissons avec respect l'emplacement de la ville de Bathurst en tant que terre ancestrale du peuple Mi'kmaq. Aujourd'hui, ces terres sont hôtes d'une population diverse, comprenant les personnes natives du territoire et autres patries. Nous reconnaissons aussi avec respect l'histoire et les diverses cultures du peuple Mi'kmaq de la région. Also, statement, we are deeply saddened by the tragic and untimely death of 3 young citizens from Bathurst area, which occurred this past weekend in Moncton. On behalf of the Mayor, Council, and employees of the City of Bathurst, I offer our most profound sympathies to the mourning families. While respecting their privacy, our thoughts and prayers go to them, as well as the lone survivor and her family in this most difficult times. Nous sommes profondément attristés par la mort tragique et prématurée de 3 jeunes citoyens et citoyennes de la région de Bathurst survenue cette dernière fin de semaine à Moncton. Au nom de la mairesse et du Conseil municipal et des employés de la ville de Bathurst, j'offre nos plus sincères condoléances aux familles en deuil, tout en respectant leur vie privée. Nos pensées et nos prières les accompagnent, ainsi que la seule survivante et sa famille en cette période plus difficile. S'il vous plaît, vous levez et observez un moment de silence en mémoire et en soutien de ces 4 jeunes personnes et à leurs familles. Please rise and observe a moment of silence in the memory and support of these young individuals and their families. Thank you. Okay, we'll go for the adoption of the agenda.
That the agenda be approved as presented.
Moved by Councillor LeBlanc, second by Councillor Legacy. All those in favor, please signify. Aye. All those against? Motion passed. Declaration of conflict of interest.
There were no conflicts of interest declared.
Okay. Adoption of minutes.
There were no adoption of minutes for this meeting.
Okay. And consent agenda.
There was no consent agenda for this meeting.
Okay, so I guess we'll go right into public and administrative presentations. 6.1, Bay Breakfast by Coaction. Magali Lantagne, Bro et Elsa Godin. Welcome.
Allô, je m'appelle Elsa Godin. Moi, c'est Magali Lantagne-Bro. Puis aujourd'hui, on vient vous parler de Coaction qui organise le Bay Breakfast. Fait qu'un petit rappel de ce que Coaction est, c'est 4 jeunes de l'école secondaire de Piziguit et 4 jeunes de BHS qui travaillent ensemble pour enlever la barrière de l'anglophone et le francophone, puis créer des activités inclusives, donner un sentiment d'appartenance à la communauté, comme avec notre prochain événement qui est le déjeuner de la baie.
So, dans le fond, le déjeuner de la baie, c'est une levée de fonds pour l'école ESN et BHS. Dans le fond, ça va avoir lieu le 19 avril de 7h le matin à 11h le matin. C'est un déjeuner avec 16 restaurants impliqués. Les billets sont 10 $. Il y a 5 $ qui vont au restaurant. Après ça, le 2,50 $, le 5 $ est divisé en deux. Il y a 2,50 $ qui va aux deux écoles. Les élèves vont faire du bénévolat cette journée-là à chaque restaurant. On a aussi une page Facebook pour les informations, les menus, tout autres détails. Puis, c'est une tradition qu'a arrêtée en 2018 à cause du manque de temps de la part des anciens organisateurs. Puis, Coaction, on a décidé de prendre le déjeuner de la baie en main pour donner à nos écoles BHS et ESN.
Puis on est très contents, on a 16 restaurants participants. Puis on est très contents pour un retour qu'on en a autant qui décident de participer avec nous.
OK, bien. Merci beaucoup pour votre présentation. C'est bon de voir que les deux écoles se mettent ensemble pour faire un événement de même. Je vais demander aux autres conseillers, as-tu des questions pour...
Merci.
Councillor Legacy.
Merci. Où est-ce que le monde peut acheter les billets?
Oui, fait que les billets vont être en vente à partir de la semaine prochaine par les élèves de ESN ou BHS ou sur les lieux des restaurants participants la journée même.
Parfait. Merci.
C'est beau. Merci beaucoup pour votre
Merci.
présentation. Hein? Oh, juste une minute. Conseiller Leblanc?
Il m'oubliait. Ben, ma première question a été posée et répondue. La deuxième, c'est simplement, est-ce qu'il y avait une demande qui venait avec ça ou c'était juste pour nous en informer?
Non, c'était juste pour informer de ce qui s'en vient.
Ben, merci pour votre excellent travail. Et on va essayer d'y participer, c'est certain.
Merci. Merci beaucoup.
Wish you well.
Merci. Okay, 6.2, proposed municipal plan and zoning bylaw amendments for property located at 1945 Miramichi Avenue by Marc Bouffard. Monsieur Bouffard, c'est à vous.
Thank you. So tonight is a public presentation as required by the Act to following an application for rezoning at 1945 Miramichi Avenue, and the application was filed by Black & McDonald Limited. So Black & McDonald is requesting the rezoning of the former Nissan dealership on Miramichi Avenue as follow. Renovation of existing Nissan building for the new Black & McDonald and Power Precision office and workshop. Black & McDonald's wants to move and have both Black & McDonald and Power Precision under the same roof. New location will allow for more opportunity to grow and add new service and keep work in the region. Existing building offer good floor plan with minimum modification to us to move in and will allow us to do more work here instead of sending out to our Dartmouth shop. So this is the request as filed by the company. Black & McDonald is currently located at 1318 Miramichi Avenue, and Power Precision is located at 1780 Conley Street in the Industrial Park. So the property is located at 1945 Miramichi Avenue. There are two parcels, two PID involved with the rezoning. The big one has a triangular shape. It has a frontage of about 980 feet on Miramichi Avenue and a surface area of 4.3 acres, more or less. So this is the big one, the big property on the plan. Parcel B was annexed in 1981, the small one. It has a width of 75 feet and an area of about 30,000 square foot. So altogether, the two parcels have a width of nearly 1,055 feet on Miramichi Avenue and a surface area of almost 5 acres. So this is the property in question. It was, until recently, until the end of 2023, the property was occupied by the Nissan car dealership. There is a main building built on it that measures 60 feet by 200 feet for a total area of about 12,000 square feet. That building used to include a showroom, sales office, parts storage room, a service area, and several garage bays with numerous doors on each side of the building. The site is partially asphalt or covered with gravel, as shown on this plan here in gray, and also the portion of the land at the tip here and on the side is still grass. And that narrow strip of land between the building and the adjacent property, being armored transportation, was occupied in the past by an impound lot, parking, sheds, and containers used for storage. The land use of the surrounding property, so Miramichi Avenue is the main artery of Bathurst East. It connects to Route 11 interchange and is also designated as a provincial route. The subject property is located north of the Bathurst Industrial Park. Foley Street, one of the two access roads to the Industrial Park, is located in front of the subject property. And the other properties directly opposite on Miramichi Avenue up to the intersection with Brito Streets include 5 dwellings, an engineering office, and a towing business. The property is bordered to the southeast here by armored transportation and industrial use, by Auto Part Plus, a highway commercial business, and the rest of the land up to the interchange is still vacant. There is also an industrial use located at the corner of Miramichi Avenue and Brito Street, that is Acadia Drywall. Finally, the property is bordered to the north by the Brito subdivision, and there are 13 residential properties on Brito Street that adjoin the subject property. So that gives you a description, a good idea of the surrounding area. So the subject property is designated commercial or zone commercial in the municipal plan. If you read the municipal plan, it contains a number of policy statements relating to commercial and industrial designation, and the applicant requests that the land use in the municipal plan be changed from commercial to industrial. So here, this is the map attached to the municipal plan. So in red, you have land that are designated commercial, in gray, industrial, in yellow, residential, in cyan, I will say, these are public space. This is the cemetery. The zoning bylaw is where we find all the details about the permitted development in the area. So a wide range of use are permitted in the highway commercial zone. That is the current zoning of the property. I'm not going through to read all of them, but as you can see, a wide range of use are permitted, including the sales of cars, garage, financial institution, public institution like church, school, library, call center, funeral home, hotels, restaurant, shopping center, place of amusement, etc. And also, as a conditional use, a manufacturing, fabrication, or assembly use provided that the product is sold within a retail space within the same building. So under the current zoning in the highway commercial zone, it is possible to have some manufacturing, fabrication, or assembly. The other designation in the area is light industrial. So, and this is what is being requested by the applicant. So in the light industrial zone, the following use will be permitted: a light manufacturing, assembly, or processing operation conducted within a building, nursery, greenhouse, the sales of vehicle, restaurant, transportation, warehousing, or distribution establishment, etc. So, as you can see, there is also a wide range of uses that are also permitted in the light industrial zone. In fact, but some of them are also permitted in the highway commercial zone. So they are common to the two type of zone. For example, the sale of cars. So the applicant, the owner is Red Rock Properties. They did purchase the property in January 2024. Red Rock Properties is the parent company of Black & McDonald. So Black & McDonald is a Canadian company that is in existence since 1921. They employ more than 6,500 employees in Canada, and 40 offices in Canada, in the United States and abroad. And also the company has several subsidiaries. On its website, the company describes itself as a multi-trade construction company. In Bathurst, it has been in operation for 12 years on the former Mario Metal property located at 1318 Miramichi Avenue. And that property is close to a school, a daycare center, and homes. The current building facility includes office and storage space for tools and electrical parts. And also a certain number of containers are being stored there, parked there, and they are used for equipment storage. Black & McDonald recently acquired Power Precision that is located at 1780 Connolly in the Industrial Park. Power Precision is specialized in the refurbishment of electrical transformers, and also they manufacture what they call e-house that are used as electrical substation for example for wind energy or other renewable project. So those pictures, again, this is the current facility in the industrial park. a view from the street. And this is an example of those e-building. They are, I will come back on that, but they are containers that are fit with specialized equipment, and those containers are moved and they are used as a substation, electrical substation for different type of project. So the request is to rezone a portion of the property only, so they are not asking to rezone the whole 5 acres. So the area that will be rezoned as an area of 3 acres and a frontage of about 160 meters on Miramichi Avenue. So the balance of the property will remain zoned highway commercial on an area of 8,200 square meters and a frontage of 204 meters on Miramichi Avenue. So in yellow, you have the area that will be rezoned from highway commercial to industrial, and in red, this is the area that will keep its current zoning being highway commercial. Before submitting a rezoning application, Power Precision did apply and obtain a temporary permission from the Planning Advisory Committee in September 2023 to use the property for a fabrication shop. Power Precision specializes in the fabrication and retrofitting of electrical equipment. At that time, the Planning Committee did receive 2 objections from property owners on Brideau Street and also from another owner on Miramichi Avenue. This temporary permission was extended to Black and McDonald in January 2024 with the same condition. So after they purchased the land, the conditions, the temporary permission was extended to the new owner. So in terms of visual impact, the building has been on the property since the early 1980s. There will be some aesthetic improvement that will be made to its facade, and some garage door will be removed. The visual footprint of the new facility should be reduced with the disappearance of the parking lot of the former car dealership. The applicant mentioned that the bulk of activities will take place indoors, so inside the building. However, the company plans to store and work on those e-house or modular building outside the main building. But those structures are prefabricated elsewhere in the province, and they do arrive on the property already assembled. So basically, the technician, what they will do, they will work outside, but to install electrical and electronic equipment inside this e-house. So those structures, they are done, they are made, so they will just install the equipment inside the building, but this is going to be done outside the main building. And on the picture, you have various pictures that show the facade, the elevation of the former Nissan building and the new owner. So basically, there is no major change other than some garage door that used to exist will be removed. But aesthetically, the building will remain basically the same. Also, the company intends to use containers to store tools and equipment as it does at its current facilities, and also they park 50-foot trailers that they use as a mobile office. So these equipment may have a certain visual impact on the neighboring properties, but that being said, the former car dealership also used several containers for storage. So this is a picture, air photo taken when the Nissan was there. As you can see, at that time, Nissan also, they were using containers or trailers for storage. So numerous semi-trailers are also parked on the neighboring lot occupied by Armour, by the trucking business. So The number, however, we do recommend that the number of containers should be specified in the conditions attached to the rezoning, and it will be reasonable to request that these containers be placed on the side parcel, so where they were in the past, if they intend to use them as for storage. And the applicant has indicated that the company could erect a fence along the residential properties if this were to become an issue. And I will come back on that at the end of my presentation. In terms of traffic, parking, and site access, so the new business is expected to generate a lower level of traffic than the former car dealership. The site is large enough to provide sufficient parking for employees and customers. Most of the land to be rezoned is asphalted, and the loading and unloading areas will have to comply with existing zoning bylaw standards. So there are provisions in the zoning bylaw that do regulate loading and unloading for any business in the city. So these standards will apply to the company. About noise, vibration, and glare, so there are two parts to the building. So the front part is used for office, so this is not expected to be a source of noise. But the former garage bay will be replaced by manufacturing and assembly workshop, as you can see on the plan here. In our opinion, the noise and vibration should be similar to, if not less, than those produced by the former car dealership, which use percussion and compressed air tools to carry out mechanical work. The applicant states that all activities will take place inside the building and that noise and vibration will have no impact on nearby residential properties. And the condition attached to the rezoning could mention that doors must remain closed when noisy work is being carried out in the workshop. Heavy truck traffic and deliveries are likely to generate a certain level of noise. Again, this noise level should be similar to and compatible with other commercial and industrial use on neighboring properties, and also with the other use currently permitted in the highway commercial zone under the current zoning. So we don't think this is going to be different than any other and many use already permitted in this highway commercial zone. The loading, unloading, and handling of goods and heavy or metal equipment are also likely to generate a certain level of noise. The use of wheel loaders and similar equipment to load, unload, transport, and store goods could also be a source of noise. And if any vehicle or equipment fit with an audible reversing device is also a potential source of noise. But those equipment and vehicle are also used by many type of business that will be permitted on this property under the current zoning. In terms of dust and odors, so the floor plan mentioned the presence of a paint booth and welding and sanding equipment. These equipment must be fit with filters required to treat the fumes, dust, and odors that may be generated. The applicant has indicated that any equipment or machinery likely to produce fumes, dust, and odors will have to comply with emission standards prescribed by the province or by manufacturers. And also the rezoning report, for your information, was sent to the province. As part of a rezoning, we have to consult of a wide range of departments, and one of them, the Department of Environment and Local Government, came back with the following information, that an approval to operate for the release of contaminant may be required for this type of operation, that depending based on the amount of product containing VOC, like paint, thinner. If they exceed 5,000 liters per year, they will be required to get an approval to operate from the province, etc. So just to tell you that there will be some aspect of this project that also requires approval from the province and not just the city. So the new proposed zoning, so we have to amend two legal documents used by the city of Bathurst. One is the municipal plan. So it is recommended to change the land use designation of the portion of the property indicated by the applicant from commercial to industrial, and the balance of the property will remain commercial. And for the zoning, it is recommended to change the zoning of the portion of the property from highway commercial to light industrial. And on the right, you have a listing of the use permitted in the light industrial zone, if you have any question about that. So at this time, the planning staff recommend the following. It is recommended that the property be rezoned as a conditional rezoning under Section 59 of the Community Planning Act. The rezoning agreement will also be subject to terms and conditions between the City of Bathurst and the property owners as provided for in the Act. The following terms and conditions are proposed by the planning staff or by the planning director at this time, subject to review by the Planning Advisory Committee and Council, because the next step will be to bring this request before the Planning Advisory Committee for review and recommendation to Council. But at this stage, the staff, the planning department, we recommend a maximum of 8 containers for the storage of materials and tools used by the company, and we do recommend that those containers be placed in the side yard, as mentioned earlier. Except for equipment to be installed in the e-house store outside, all other work and activities carried out by the company must be done inside the building. Building doors must be completely closed when noisy work is being carried out indoors. Of course, all other provisions of the zoning bylaw continue to apply. No exterior lighting shall be projected or spill over onto neighboring properties, and the owner must install and maintain a 6-foot high fence along the boundary of residential properties to act as a visual screen. That condition was suggested when we did present the project at the Committee of the Whole. So in terms of timing or schedule, so on March 18, Council did launch the amendment to the municipal plan. So tonight, April the 2nd, is the public presentation of the proposed amendment. On April 30th, there will be a PAC meeting, and they will review the application and make recommendation to Council. May 2nd is the deadline for submitting written objection to the municipal plan amendment proposal. So the people, they have until May 2nd to file their objections or support the two things. On May the 6th, Council will take note of the written objection received and adopt a resolution to initiate zoning bylaw amendments. So at this time, first step is to amend the municipal plan, but starting May 6th, Council will initiate the second phase, that is to amend the zoning bylaw. So at that time, May 31st will be the deadline to submit written objection to the zoning bylaw amendments proposal. On June the 3rd, there will be a public hearing to hear objection, and at that time, Council could proceed with first and second reading of the proposed bylaw. On June 17, Council will adopt the bylaw in third readings and the attached conditions, and after that, the bylaw will be submitted to the Minister for approval, and the bylaw will come into force once registered. So that's the schedule that we will follow over the next weeks to come. If you have any question.
Anybody have a question? Councillor Burnett?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. The first and second reading at the same meeting, we discussed that at a training session here just recently, where we were thinking of going with the first reading and then waiting till the next meeting for the second and third reading. Is that going to be happening, or was that just a recommendation?
Monsieur Bouffard?
Again, all I can say is that I've dealt with a lot of municipalities, and it's common practice to do first and second reading the first night, and after that, third reading and adoption on the second one.
Okay, we were just...
So that's a comment. So again, I'm not too familiar with your procedures, but this is the way it's being done in most municipalities.
Thank you. And I'll wait to see what happens with the Mrs. Quigley, is that was her name?
Yes.
Made that presentation to us just recently, and we were supposed to be looking into that with the staff. The buildings that are going to be delivered there and worked on outside to fit or refit or whatever it is, will they be leaving after a bit, or are they going to be staying on that property? Are they being refitted or fitted to be sent elsewhere?
Yes, because they are used as electrical substation. So they put the equipment. After that, they will put them on cranes. We have a representative of the company. If I'm wrong, you could correct me. But my understanding, first they will put some kind of pad. They will install those structures. They will put the equipment inside, and after when it's finished, they put those structures on a flatbed, I suppose, and ship them to their customers. That is a substation for example, the windmill project. So that seems to be the correct answer.
Will there be a lot of those buildings there at one time, like say 15 or 5 or 4? Or?
I don't think they intend to two buildings at the same time at a time. No more than 3.
Thank you. The current buildings that are occupied by these two companies, their zoning will allow other people to step in and pick these buildings up. With one's in the industrial park and the one's on Miramichi. What's the zoning of the one on Miramichi?
We'll see. This is still zone highway commercial.
Highway commercial, the one that's on Miramichi. Okay. And it looks like some of the jobs that are being sent away now are going to be done here. So are we creating more work here, more jobs by having this building retrofitted and this type of work being done here? Is it creating jobs?
As mentioned in the application, they say that the fact that this is done, it will be done here. Right now I understand they do they subcontract some of their job in Dartmouth, I think. So they will, but I never discussed with them how many jobs I will create, but I'm sure this is going to create or maintain jobs in the area.
I sort of read into it that there would be jobs done here now that aren't being done here now. So I was glad to see that, you know. So that's good for the area. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Burnett. Councillor Anderson?
I can just add a little bit more to that, since I was at the PAC meeting when it was first presented. There's going to be less noise in that area going forward than there was with the car dealership there. You're not going to have the noise that you have with when they're working on the vehicles and stuff like that. You're not going to have that noise in the traffic that they currently have. And yes, they will be hiring more staff to offset having to send the work out.
Yeah, because this is, this will be specialized work, so hopefully it'll keep some people here that are traveling now because of the specialized nature of this type of work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Anderson. Councillor Branch?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I guess I just wanted to revisit what Councillor Burnett brought up a while ago. When the expert was in the other day, they had mentioned that it's not uncommon to have 2 readings in the same meeting, but they said the best practice is to have the first reading one night, and then if all the questions were answered before the next meeting, then you could have the second reading, and if no other questions came forward, then you could pass a motion to have the third reading. If questions came forward at the second reading, you should then wait for a third meeting. Again, that was the best practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Branch. Well, thank you, Mr. Bouffard, for your presentation. Okay, so we're moving along to finance.
So there were no items under finance for this meeting.
Okay. Municipal bylaws
No municipal bylaw items for this meeting.
and draft resolutions. We got the 9.1 T003-24 janitorial services for the city buildings.
That tender T003-24 janitorial services city buildings be awarded to Mon Nettoyer Enregistré as a 5-year contract for $112,920 plus tax per year for a total of $564,000 plus tax.
Could I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Branch, second by Councillor Burnett. All those in favor signify. Oh, sorry. Councillor Legacy.
Not sure if it's a big deal, but the number doesn't add up. Any way we can change that? I would think we're short by $600.
Calculated it.
Mr. Pettigrew. $564,600. So make those changes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do a motion to do the amendment, and then we're gonna have to do another motion to approve the amended motion.
Okay.
Okay? Just give me a second, I just gotta get something written.
Good catch.
Okay.
Councillor,
Oh, sorry.
Councillor Knowles had a question also.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, Deputy Mayor Willett. Just more of a question, is it customary to give out a 5-year contract for janitorial services? Is that common practice? Has it been like that in the past, or is it like 1 or 2 years at a time? Just a question.
Thank you, Worship. We'll go to Mr. Abernathy.
It's pretty common practice across other contracts. We haven't done it for this one, however. We do it on snow clearing and different things. We've done 3 years and 5 years. Essentially, it gives a little bit of kind of solidifies the price over a number of years. There is options to terminate after a three-year period. So it's basically a 3-year locked in with an option to renew for 2 more years after that. But the option is there for 5 years total. I think if you look at the pricing that came in with pretty modest increases over the 5-year period, I think we're fairly happy with the prices that came in, and it gives some solidity, some consistency for the next 5 years. So something it's done. It hasn't been done on this contract before, maybe way in the past, but we do it on various contracts. So.
Okay, thanks for the answer.
Thank you, Councillor Knowles. We're ready?
Yep. That item 9.1 be amended to change the total of $564,000 to $564,600.
Mover.
Yep.
Councillor Legacy. Second by Councillor Branch.
Okay.
All those in favor? All those against? Motion passed.
And then we'll have to do one more.
Okay.
That tender T003-24 janitorial services city buildings be awarded to Nettoyer Enregistré as a 5-year contract for $112,920 plus tax per year for a total of $564,600.
Could I have a mover? Moved by Councillor LeBlanc, second by Councillor Branch. All those in favor? Aye. All those against? Motion carried. Okay. 902, 2024 grant distribution.
That the grant distribution be approved as follows. $5,000 to the Victoria Park Enhancement Committee.
Moved by Councillor Burnett, second by Councillor Knowles. All those in favor signify. Aye. All those against? Motion carried. Reports from administration.
There were no reports from administration.
Reports from committees.
There was no reports from any committees.
And report from the mayor. I had a meeting last week with all the mayors from the Francophone areas. We also met with all the political parties getting ready or getting motivated towards an election. So basically they're saying that both associations should work closely together to be able to get things done and get things that are needed by all municipalities in New Brunswick. So it was a good meeting. Besides that, let's move to adjourn.
That the regular public meeting be adjourned at 7:16 p.m.
Moved by Councillor Branch, second by Councillor Legacy. All those in favor? Okay, we'll take 5 minutes and we'll get on to the next meeting.